So, what's the real difference between a customer who just sticks around and one who truly thrives with your product? Well, that answer, more often than not, is their customer success manager. In this explainer, we're going to break down 10 core strategies that take a CSM from just good to being a completely indispensable partner.
You know, in today's world, there are just so many options out there. Simply keeping a customer isn't really the goal anymore. The real question is, how do you make your company so valuable, so integrated into their success, that leaving isn't even a thought? It's not just about making them happy, it's about delivering real, tangible success. Let's dig in. And this quote right here, it just nails it. The whole game has changed. It's not about reactively putting out fires anymore. It's all about being proactive, about creating value. The goal is to get ahead of your customers' needs, to guide them to where they need to go, sometimes even before they know it themselves. And that completely redefines what a CSM is, right? They're not just some support contact you email when something's broken. No way. They are a strategic partner, an in-house expert, and honestly a critical engine for growth, not just for their client, but for their own company too. Okay, so here's how we've broken these 10 strategies down. We're going to follow the customer's journey, starting with building a solid foundation, then moving into how to drive continuous value. We'll look at the proactive playbook, and finally, we'll talk about turning customers into loyal advocates. All right, let's start where it all begins, building that foundation. Because if you have a shaky start right here, those little cracks can turn into huge problems down the line. Getting this part right is absolutely non-negotiable. Strategy number 1, you have to master onboarding. And I don't mean just giving a product tour. This is your customer's very first taste of success. A generic, one-size-fits-all approach just doesn't work. A marketing team needs something totally different than an engineering team, right? So you've got to tailor the whole experience, use demos to really build their confidence, and then check in proactively to squash any little roadblocks before they turn into major frustrations. And that leads right into our second strategy, building a shared vision of what success actually looks like. I mean, if you and your customer have different ideas of what winning is, you're both kind of set up to fail from the start. This means you have to sit down and create a success plan together with really clear milestones and KPIs. And this isn't just some document that gets filed away. It's your North Star. It's the single source of truth you both use to measure progress. So once you've got that solid foundation, the focus shifts. Now we're into phase 2, driving continuous value. This is the long game. This is where you prove that your product isn't just some tool they bought, but it's an absolutely essential part of how they get their work done every single day. Strategy number 3 is all about smart, consistent engagement. And it's way more than just having a weekly check-in call on the calendar. It's about sharing personalized tips based on how they're actually using the product. And this is so important. It's about finding your champions inside that organization. Find that one person who really gets it, who loves the product, and empower them. Seriously, they will sell your product internally better than you ever could. Now for strategy 4, and this one is a big leap. This is how you go from being just a product expert to becoming a true trusted advisor. See, anyone can answer a how-to question, but a trusted advisor, they answer the why and the what-if questions. You're not just supporting a tool anymore. You're offering strategic advice that helps their entire business. That's what makes you indispensable. Okay, what's really fascinating about this next section is that it's all about the work that your customers might not even see directly. But trust me, it has a massive impact on the value they get. This is the internal playbook. This slide here perfectly illustrates the CSM's 5th strategy. You have to be the bridge. You are the conduit between the customer and your own company. You're the one funneling that crucial product feedback to the development team. You're spotting those upsell opportunities for the sales team, and you are representing the customer's real-world needs to your own leadership. You literally become the voice of the customer, shaping your company's strategy from the inside out. Strategy number 6 is all about using data as your superpower. As you can see in this chart, usage metrics are your early warning system. A dip in activity, like you see here, isn't just a number on a dashboard. It's a silent cry for help. It's your signal to jump in right now and figure out what's wrong, long before that customer even thinks about looking for another solution. Look, one-on-one support is amazing, but it just doesn't scale, does it? That's why Strategy 7 is all about building scalable education. Things like regular training webinars, certification programs for your power users, or even learning tracks for specific industries. These things let you deliver huge value to your entire customer base at once, and that frees you up to focus on the really high-impact strategic work.
All right, this brings us to our final and maybe most powerful phase, turning customers into loyal advocates. This is where all that hard work really pays off. It's how you transform happy customers into what is essentially your most effective marketing team. Look, having a customer who is happy, who is quietly using your product every day, that's fantastic. It means you're doing your job, you're delivering value, and that's the baseline we're all aiming for. But that's just the baseline. The real question, the one that changes the game, is how do you unlock that next level? How do you turn that quiet satisfaction into loud, vocal advocacy that actively goes out and helps grow your business? Well, that brings us to strategies 8 and 9, building a real advocacy program. Strategy 8 is about actively going out and encouraging testimonials and case studies. Strategy 9 is about creating spaces like user forums where they can help each other, and then publicly celebrating your customers' successes. This creates this amazing feedback loop where their success just breeds more success. And that brings us to our 10th and final strategy. And this one is the one that powers all the others. It's about your own professional growth. Customer success is constantly changing. The best CSMs out there are relentless learners. They're investing in themselves, going to conferences, getting certifications, and connecting with their peers. That commitment is what allows them to keep delivering that cutting-edge value. So here's the bottom line. When you really master these strategies, your job title almost doesn't matter anymore. You're not just an account manager or a CSM. You become a strategic driver of retention, of expansion. You become a true growth engine for your entire company. So as we wrap up, I want you to think about this question, but not just in theory. Make it practical. Think about your own customers right now. Where is your single biggest opportunity to make an impact? Is it in totally revamping your onboarding, or maybe building out that advocacy program? Pick one. Which one of these strategies are you going to master first?